Welcome, acolytes, and thank you to Agent of Social Media Chaos for showing me this one because I would have skipped it. I wouldn't have seen it. Man, UN unalive someone over anime. This is real, and this is why am I laughing? Of course, it's not the thing that you think about that I find that somebody lost his life because that's a tragedy, especially if you lose your life for anime. But as as my dear acolyte wrote in, the guy that actually did the deed blames the anime itself on his thing, and it's just so absurd, so totally freaking bullshit, and I can barely even believe that this effing happened. Of course I believe it, but it's just so absurd that the only reaction I can have is laughing about it because it's so absurd. The poor guy that actually died, the poor family of the guy, and this crazy motherfucker just thinks that he's in Bleach and goes around and effing marks people. That's why asylums should exist. I mean, I wouldn't throw him into an asylum at this point, instantly to jail, because he's clearly not there. But hey, okay, let's see what
Bleach anime
CBS
used in New Zealand murder case defense. No, you did not have a stroke. No, you did not hear wrong. You don't need to get your hearing checked. This is a legitimate article title that came out late last night. And to give a little bit more context, when you click on the article and you go to the title, this is what it says.
Oh my...
Bleach anime used in defense in New Zealand murder case. Defense. Schizophrenic suspect was acting out Bleach anime scene when he assaulted and murdered the victim.
What the fuck?
I want to point something out before I go any further with this. About a year ago, okay, there was a trial with Young Thug that literally was on like Law and Crime and all that. You know, it was literally a trial, and this is what I believe one of the lawyers had to say. Just listen to this real quick. This is a real court trial.
Get them out of Soul Society. You go to season 6, you don't hear about the balance. You go to season 6.
FYI, she's talking about the Bound arc, the filler arc of Bleach, the first big filler arc of Bleach. But where the correlation comes in is that it's very strange in the last year or so. We have had not one but two cases that somehow have
opened the asylums again.
A very famous series into the courtroom. And I'm just like, why? Just why in general? But
yes, exactly.
Anyways, let's...
You know what? This is what I thought in the first... I came from work, opened my Twitter at some point after, of course, eating, or because I had time. Eating, washing myself. Just wanted to chill and make a nice video where I can laugh. And then I read this. And at first I couldn't believe. I thought this motherfucker makes fun of me. And I watched and I seen this. Yes, this is a real case. So I just... Yes, so I did a different video to actually calm down and then look at it again. And it's just... No.
Let's talk about this, okay?
No.
So I did a little bit of research, and from everything I can gather from articles that came out and all that, there's not really any information on exactly what scene the actual criminal did. For instance, the person that was schizophrenic. It's not confirmed exactly what episode, what fight scene, or whatever. But one thing I could dive into, and I dug into, is apparently this crime happened back in 2017. So this was before 1,000-Year Blood War, since it came out in 2017, like when, this all happened, and just now after many, many years later, apparently after, appeals and stuff, this is what was said in the defense of the schizophrenic criminal that murdered someone, saying that he was acting out a Bleach scene. Literally, this just reminds me of, like, Better Call Saul. It's like, you're on...
When the defense, it's just... No, Judge, he's fine. He was just acting out of Bleach scene. He was playing around, mate. No, he's a fine boy otherwise. He's fine otherwise. Just this one fuck up. Come on. He was just playing an anime. For fuck's sake. This... Acolytes. Tell me this isn't true. Oh, shit.
My client was a schizo, and he had massive spiritual pressure, which he didn't mean to kill someone. And that's basically what this kind of seems like. It literally seems like out of something of Better Call Saul when I read this. But getting back into the context of this, basically, it's not confirmed exactly what fight scene or anything that this criminal was inspired by. But it's very clear by what the prosecution and all that brought up, especially with diving into this article, is that there is definitely some similarities to a scene. Once again, we're not given any info on what scene it was. But there is a character that comes to mind when you look into what this individual did to someone. He punched and kicked and stomped them. And there's one character in particular, and you have it on screen, that pretty much uses a lot of punches and kicking and stuff. And, definitely would be, a big iconic moment for the story prior to 1,000-Year Blood War. Because Bleach is a series that is with the swords and stuff and certain abilities. So, a character punching and kicking is definitely significant. You can definitely narrow it down considerably when you consider all...
I personally, I watched Bleach for a little while. It was more of a... At the very, very start, not mine, but I remember this character at some point, maybe not even watched it. It's years ago, fuck it, I don't remember exactly. But I remember this character. Unhinged, let's just say, if this is your thing, inspiration, no effing wonder. Oh, shit.
All the fights, especially pre-1,000-Year Blood War anime. So, factoring all that in, I'm led to believe it might be Grimjaw that he was inspired by. Now, regardless of the situation, it is a very horrific crime that this individual committed, and obviously seeing Bleach brought into this entire situation is so wild in and of itself. But one thing that this trial is trying to do, and kind of get into the main context of why it was brought up, is that the schizophrenic individual that has been trying to appeal the court case to plead insanity, basically his new plea is that, he was enacting a scene from Bleach. And so he basically believed he was the character so deeply that is why he did what he...
Okay, Acolytes, if this works, if this effing works, we're enacting Overlord. Fuck it, I'm taking the blame. If this works, we're doing Overlord. Especially the pergament part for spells. Or was it spell books? Because in German it was a pergament for to engrave spells on the special paper. Very special paper.
Did. So he was so crazy he thought he was the character, which does fit schizophrenic tendencies and stuff. So basically the main objective here is for the criminal not to be basically in jail or prison, but to be put to some form of like maybe mental institution or asylum or something, which anyone that watches like crime videos and Law and Order videos and stuff like that knows going into an asylum or like an institution is much worse than maybe even just a prison, because there is no way out and you're permanently locked there, and it's just very dark and decrepit places, basically. So, I don't know exactly the in-game goal here, but regardless of the situation, it's crazy to see Bleach brought up into this subject, with just such a horrific case of a man just straight up murdering someone for basically no reason. It's just like, dude, what the hell? Like, I don't know, man. This was not something I expected expected to wake up to this morning and see this type of information, especially something like this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first read these titles, I thought I was having a stroke. I was like, there's no way I read this right. There's no way that Bleach is being used as evidence to defend someone. I'm just like, excuse me? Like, it's so weird that something like this has kind of happened now twice.
Yeah,
Weird, man.
it is.
It's really, 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 really weird.
Yeah, it
But,
is.
yeah, I wanted to talk about that. This was something that graced my feed, and I just wanted to bring it to all you guys' attention.
Yeah,
What do you think? How do you feel about this? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you.
Acolytes, you know how I feel about it. This is just so freaking absurd. Okay, let's.
Regardless if this defense goes through or not, I'm just going to keep it real. The criminal in question that murdered the poor man should never, ever see outside of a jail cell.
That's correct, yes.
I'm just going to be honest. They are a danger, not just to everyone around them, but to themselves as well, clearly. Because, like, if, for instance, this is legit, and, like, you know, they truly believe they were, like, Grimjaw or someone, they should not be free. I want to keep it real. There is no rectifying and trying to better that person.
The thing is, why I am a fan of rectifying and actually trying to cure a person. The thing is, in my opinion, that about 30% or 20, I don't remember. It's not that I don't remember, but the studies that I did were old or relatively old. I maybe should refresh them. But the point of my thing was about 30% back. They just return to their old behavior and kill or steal or do something bad again. So in my opinion, is it worth? Not really. Not really. Except in very, 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 very rare cases. In very rare cases where the individual actually has a chance of staying normal, but we not as much have to improve our betterment of those people, but to recognize who actually can be re-socialized, who actually won't or has the smallest chance of actually, well, redoing the bad thing they actually did. Because at the end of the day, if you just go out and harm somebody else again, yeah, sorry. I mean, everybody's very, very generous if it comes to others people's lives, but not their own. And I personally am a bit differently. I don't think that someone who ruins other's life should get off scot-free. Or if you ruin someone's life permanently, you should be permanently locked away. But that's only what I think. But acolytes, as it is, I think have a nice day, and for F's sake. For F's, why?